Okay, in this video we will talk about how we can convert event logs into metric data point in Splunk. Okay, so previously we have seen how to ingest metric data in using statsd, and also we have seen like how we can use the props and transform.conf to ingest metric data which is like not very much similar to the statsd format, maybe in a separate format, right? Now over there we all talked about the metric data. Now here the situation is completely different. Over here we are basically trying to convert a event data into a metric data, because you will face many times where the metric data or the time series data will be hidden inside your event, something like this one. If you see these two logs over here, right? So both of these log has a underscore time value, and it also have some kind of numeric field like this max size kb, current size kb, current size. So these are the numeric field, and as well as some non-numeric field as well over here, right? Now these things like this numeric fields are basically same if you see in these two logs over here, and they are corresponding underscore time, right? So we can basically think of this max size kb, current size kb, and the current size as a metric value as well, right? But in Splunk they are actually as a log file, so that means they are actually indexed as an event over there, right? So now there is a need that if we identify this kind of situation over there, how can we convert this particular log data into metric data? Okay, now as we did for like other Splunk stuff, there are always two ways. Like either you can do this conversion during the index time, or you can do it using during the basically the search time, okay, using the mcollect command. Now today we'll be seeing like the index time approach. Maybe in future video we will see the search time approach over there. Okay, so the index time means like before this particular log is getting ingested into Splunk, it will be converted into metric, and it will be saved in a or indexed in a metric index. Okay, if you remember, like for Splunk matrices they have a separate index, right? Separate type of index over there, right? So you have to basically select the matrices from the index type over there, right? So that will be saved in the metric index over there. Now for the today's use case, what we'll do is we will use two kinds of data set. Okay, very simple one is this guy over here, and another is this guy. So this guy I have taken from the Splunk documentation itself, and this guy will be, so basically both of them are a separate use cases, so that's why I have taken this two type of data set. In the first type of data set, if you just see the event structure, so we have this underscore time over here. Okay, we have something called info, then we have something called values, then colon. We have a host name. If you see this dummy host name over here, okay, and then this is the metric name we wanted to extract basically. So like host in .node-lat will be the metric name, and this will be the value of the metric. Okay, and this is like another numeric field which can be like let's say a ID field, okay, which can be extracted as metric as well, or may not be, but we will see like how to extract this guy as well as a metric name ID over there, because this guy do not have any field name, so we will be creating that field name in Splunk as well. Okay, that's how all the events are structured over here. Okay, and if you see like all these events in these files are in similar structure, like from here to here is like before this host field is a actual host value, then we have the metric value till host till lat, then the actual value of the metric. This is basically the metric name over here, and this is another metric called ID with this value of this guy over here. Okay, and if you see the second data set, it's a very simplistic one. Like it's a proper log file where we have the timestamp over here. Okay, we have a string called info over here, then we have a string called matrices, then we have two kinds of event structure over here. If you see, like group equals to queue and group equals to pipeline. Okay, for group equals to queue, there are certain key value pairs like location, corp, name, max size, current size, something like this one, current size KB and current size. Okay, now for group equals to pipeline, the event structure is completely different. If you see, like they have separate list of field names over here. Okay, so now we will see basically when we extract metrics from event data. Metrics are generally numeric values, right? So we will be extracting these numeric values as a metric value, and maybe some of these guys as a dimensions as well. As you remember from my introduction video of metrics, so there is a concept of dimensions as well for the metrics, which is basically the metadata about the metrics, right? So maybe we will be using couple of fields over here for the metric dimension over here. Okay, so we will start with this guy first, data.txt, then we'll move to data new.txt and see what are the difference between these two configurations over here. Now, as we are talking about index time operations over here, that means the field extraction has to be the index time field extraction, right? So let us first try to extract fields over here. Now, when we talk about the ingestion or converting a log data into metrics, there are, if you see in nutshell, there are 3 configurations which you need to remember over here. Okay, maybe let us discuss those configurations over here in the transform.conf. Okay, so basically, like this is the configurations I have created when I was doing this particular POC, which we will be doing it step by step today as well. But it is good to know that beforehand, like what are the things are there. Okay, so that when we will be doing it, it will be easier to connect. So if you see, as I told, for the metrics extraction or converting a log to metrics, there are 3 things you have to know. One is the metrics schema measures. Okay, we will see what that is. And there is a whitelist dimension and there is a blacklist dimension. That is what you need to know it. Okay, rest of the stuffs we know already. I already covered in the index time field extraction video, which I'll be giving a link over here as well. Okay, so other configurations we already know. So we just need to know the 3 new configurations over here called metric schema measures, metric schema measure. Then there is a metric name as well, which you will see it later, and a whitelist and a blacklist dimensions. That's all. Okay, so let us start doing that one. So first thing is we have to extract fields, because this is an event which do not have any kind of field extraction, right? Because this do not have any kind of key values with equals to, which we have it for the new data, right? So, and this is a index time field extraction. That means we have to do specifically tell Splunk through props.conf and transform.conf how to extract the fields over here. Okay, so for that, what we'll do is we will copy these guys over here, and we will go to regex 101 to develop the regular expression. Okay, so we'll say regex 101. So we'll go over there, we'll paste it. Okay, now as I told, from here to here is my host value, right? So that means it will be province, right? So it will match all the province. Then we have to match a dot, that means backslash dot. We have to escape this dot because dot is a special character in regular expression, right? So that's why I am escaping with this backslash. Then we have some characters over here. Maybe I can say dot plus, it could be any length of characters, but whenever I have given dot plus, it is matching till end of the string over here. So then I have a dot over here as well, if you see, right? So let us give another dot, so it will be matching till the last dot it found it over here. Okay, then we have certain characters over here, so let us match with dot plus. Okay, then we have another dot over here, so let us match with backslash dot. Okay, then we have a value of host, right? So that will basically form as a boundary for me. So this guy, so from here till before that host string, this will be my value of the host, right? So I'll be basically, let's keep this as a group only, separate group over here. Okay, now we have to extract the metric name. So from here till lat, right? Okay, 1 minute. From this host till lat will be my metric name over here. So let us continue. After host we have a dash, then we have digits, right? It could be any number of digits, so I'll give \d plus, then we have a dot, we are matching with dot, then we have this string over here, node dash lat. Maybe when you'll be working with your events, this regular expression will be changing for you as well, right? As I am working with some kind of demo event, so I am doing it something like this one. Okay, so this forming my metric name over here, right? So let us create a separate group over here. So this will be my metric name. Now after this lat we have couple of spaces, so we don't know how many spaces will be there, so we'll match with \s plus. Okay, then we have digits, which are our metric values, right? That means \d plus. It could be any number of digits. So this \d plus will be the value of our metric, right? So that's why I'll be creating a separate group over here. Okay, so let us continue. After that we have couple of spaces, \s plus. Then we have another list of digits, which will basically we are planning to create another metric called ID over there, right? So let's do that one, \d plus. Okay, and I will just make it as this one. Okay, another group which will be basically a ID value over here. Okay, so if you see, for each and every event I'm able to match with my regular expression. So this regular expression will be using in our transform.conf, right? So we will go to this guy over here. First we will go to the transform.conf. So if you do not know whatever the settings I am going to write it over here, I will be providing that link for that index time field extraction. Have a look. So all these settings I have discussed over there as well. Okay, so we will be creating a new stanza called field dash extraction. Okay, extractions, or better we'll give just field underscore extraction to be much simplistic. Okay, so now in transform.conf, if you want to extract field using regular expression, you have to give the key called regex over here, right? Over here we will be providing our regex over here, whatever regex we have developed it over there. Okay, now if your regular expression has groups, okay, so you can use the format option for the field extraction part, right? Now this format is needed when you talk about the index time field extraction. Okay, now in this format basically we are giving the regular expression group names. If you see it over here, so this is my first group, this is my second group, this is my third group, and this is my fourth group. So using this group number we will basically do the field extraction over here. So first we will be creating a field called host. So basically you cannot replace this actual host field value with this field name, because in Splunk that will be auto created by Splunk, right? So basically this will be creating a new field called extracted underscore host, but that is fine for us. Okay, the value of the host field will be the first group, right? So that's why we will be referring as $1 over here. Okay, now we have to create a field called our metric name, whatever we are having it over here. So that is nothing but $2 is the field name. So for each and every data point over here, if you see this host, then some number, then node lat will be the value of that field over here. Okay, basically the name of the field over here. Okay, and the value of this guy will be the 15, value of this guy will be 17, something like this one. Okay, so that's why the value of this guy, the matrix, will be the $3, right? Because this is our third group. Okay, which is basically the nothing but the metric value over here. Okay, and then we'll be creating a new field called ID, then double colon, then $4, right, which is our fourth group over here, capturing group over here. Okay, so we created the index time field extraction, and as it index time field extraction, we have to give write underscore meta equals to true. Okay, so this became our transforms.conf configuration. In the props we have to create a new source type. we will call it as metrics underscore log. Okay, for this source type, as we have created a field extraction in transform.conf, so you have to mention it over here, transforms. Okay, then the class name will say field value, any name you can give it over here. Field values, we will be giving the transform class name over here, right, which is nothing but field underscore extraction over here. Till this point we have not done anything related to the metrics, we just did the field extraction over here. Now let us try to do the extraction or the settings related to the metrics extraction. Okay, so for that, what we'll do first, we will first do the transform.conf configuration, then the same thing will be recording to the props.conf configuration over here. Okay, so for that, what we'll do over here is, in the documentation, we will just go over here in this time log to matrices using the configuration file. Okay, now as very overall stuff in the transform.conf, as I said, you need to know the three things. One is the matrix schema measures, blacklist dimension, and the whitelist dimension over here. Okay, now here the two things is coming into picture. One is like you want to apply these settings for all the events, okay, in your data file, which is the case over here as well. For the first file we are dealing with data.txt, we want to apply the transform.conf settings for all the events. So that's why what we have to do is we have to create a basically stanza over here. Okay, now this is the overall structure. The stanza name has to be something like this one. So let us copy this one and paste it over here. Okay, it has to be metric dash schema, this is a keyword, okay, then a colon, then you have to give a unique transform.conf stanza name. Okay, so let me give a name called extract underscore matrices. Okay, so this has to be the stanza name. Now inside the stanza name, as I said, we have three things. First thing is, if we want to apply for all the events, we just need to use this one, matrix schema measures. If you want to apply for a specific event, you have to after measures you have to give a unique metric name over here. We'll see how to achieve that. Okay, so as I am applying for all, I'll just copy this guy over here. So we have to go over here. Okay, now the possible values of matrix schema measures are either all nums, that means it will be applicable for all the fields, okay, all the numeric fields basically. Then nums expect the field, that means it will be applicable for all the numeric field except the field list you will be giving it over here. Okay, as we will be applying for all the numeric fields, that means if we just go to our data, so this is a metric field, like this is the metric name and this is the metric value, and this is another numeric field called ID over here. We want to apply for both of them, right? So we will set the value of the matrix schema measures as all num over here. Okay, that's the one. And we do not need to blacklist anything for this particular file we having, because we just have a single dimension called host which we have created over here, right? So this will act as a dimension because this is a non-numeric data in our event, right? So for that, what we'll do, we will be using this guy over here, matrix schema whitelist dimensions. Okay, whitelist dims basically. So we'll copy that, we'll come over here, this one equals to, we'll be giving the host over here. Okay, the field we are basically extracting over here during the index time. Now that's it for the transform.conf. Now in props.conf, somehow you have to tell Splunk like apply this particular settings, right? So for that, what we have to do is in the props, so if I just go down, so there should be an entry called props over here. So here, okay, so this is our under the source type. So this is like there is a settings called matrix schema transform, where you will be giving the transform.com stanza name. So that is what we will be copying it over here. Okay, in the transform we will be going up over here in the props.conf. So this is our source type. So we will say matrix schema transforms equals to the new stanza we created for the matrix in the transform.conf, right? So that is what we will be giving it over here. So that's it. So this is for the our data.txt, right? So if everything we did it correctly, so if we want to ingest, if we are ingesting the data.txt in Splunk using this particular source type, Splunk will basically convert these events into metrics and stored in a metric event over there. Okay. Now, as we have changed these configurations files from the backend, we will restart Splunk once. Okay, our Splunk has been restarted now. We'll just log in it over there. Now we will directly go to settings, add data. Okay, we will click on upload back because we are just simply doing a normal upload stuff and see how things are going on. We'll select the file, we'll select our data.txt. Okay, we will be clicking on next. So over here we have to select the source type we have created over here, right? So if I just go over here, so this is our source type metrics_log, right? So the same source type we will be selecting over here. So we'll say metrics_log. So that is the source type we have created. See if it is, if you are able to, if you are just restarting Splunk, so this source type will be automatically available in this particular drop down. Okay. Now we will be clicking on next over here. Now as I already created a sample matrix index called test_matrix_idx. Okay, so you need to choose basically the corresponding matrix index you will be having it over here. And if you see, like compared to normal events, this particular logo is completely different, right, for the matrix events over here. Okay, you will be clicking on review. We'll be clicking on submit. Now if everything goes fine, so it after you, when you click on start searching, right, so it will be basically give you a mstats command output, because you cannot access directly events in matrix, right? It has to be either through mcatalog or mstats command. Okay, so if I just do the searching, so we will be getting a result something like this one for each and every matrices over here. If you see, it will basically running a command called mstats, and it is basically taking the count star for each and every matrices over here. If you see, like it has created those host 12 node lat matrices and also a matrix called id over here with the count of 4 over here. Okay, so this is how the whole stuff works. So basically whatever we did it over here is basically using the props and transforms, we basically converted a log data into a metric data over here. Okay, now let us try to do the same stuff for this one, the new data_new file. Okay, so we'll be doing it quickly, but there is a difference over here, so that portion we will be doing it slowly. Okay, so over here, as I have told, we have two different kinds of events, so you need to basically do some kind of extra measurement while doing the configurations. Okay, so whatever is matching with the previous one, I'll just do it one. So first thing is, in the props, let us create a new source type called metrics_log_new with the similar kind of field extraction. Then we have to do something like a eval pipeline, which we'll see it, and then the matrix schema transformation. So I'll just copy the same stuff over there. Okay, in our props.conf. Okay, now let us try to do one by one. So the first thing is the field extraction. That means in the transform.conf we have to create basically this particular stanza, which will be doing the field extraction over here. Okay, so let us copy that one as well, field extraction new. So let me explain to this one as well very briefly. So we are doing the similar stuff. We are basically giving a regular expression, and then we are giving the format option over here. Okay, but now if you see it in this particular data set, we have two kinds of events, right? And each and every field is and its value are separated by =. Okay, so that's why I have written something like this one. Say word a word character, and that to any number of time, equals to a word character, sorry, and that is repeating any number of time. Okay, and if you see, I have just given the first occurrence and the second occurrence. Okay, and this is doing the trick over here called repeat underscore match. Okay, so basically whenever it is finding this particular stuff, like something equals to something, okay, it is creating that left hand portion as a field and right hand portion as the field value, then it is repeating. So that means it will start from here, then again it will find the corp equals to Splunk, it will create a field called corp with the value equals to Splunk, something like this one. Okay, so that's the stuff is going on over here, and right meta equals to true because we are doing the index time field extraction over here. Okay, so that's the stuff. Now before we discuss this eval underscore pipeline, okay, this one you already know, right? We already set up for the previous source type. So we basically have to create this particular stanza in our transform.conf and do some settings over there, right? So let us do that one. So this is the one I am talking about. Okay, and if I just go to transform.conf, now let us try to understand the differences between this two, the one previously we created, okay, and the one currently I am creating now. If you see, everything matches except after matrix schema measures we have something, a name called queue or a name called pipeline over here. Okay, so something we have to append it over here. Now what is it? This has to be a metric name. So there has to be a field called metric name. So if I just go to Splunk documentation, it will be more clear. So when we talk about like filtering the events and then apply this particular settings, okay, so we are essentially looking for this one over here. So if I just go up over here, if you see, after matrix schema measures, we have to provide a unique metric name over here, and that has to match with a field value called metric underscore name. Okay, so that means we have to extract a field from this one, from this events called metric underscore name. So this, to achieve that one only, we are doing this one. So if I just go to props.conf, this eval pipeline, so we are doing this one. So this is the same ingest underscore eval I have discussed in my index time field extraction as well. Okay, so what it is doing, basically it's a, you can give a eval expression, okay, and with this particular settings, so it basically creates this particular field index time, and the value it will assign to this with this particular field value. That means when we talk about our event, right, so that means data underscore new, so we are extracting these fields, right, group equals to queue and group equals to pipeline, so that the metric underscore name field value will be the same as group field value. That means the metric underscore name field value will be either queue or pipeline. So that's why we have these two settings over here. Okay, so that means whenever the events where the metric underscore name value will be queue, we are basically taking all the numeric fields as a metric fields. Okay, and when we have an event where the metric, basically the group is pipeline or metric name equals to pipeline, then we are only taking these three fields as metric fields. That means if we just go to events, that means CPU seconds, executes, and the cumulative hits, right? So we have done it over here, like CPU seconds, executes, and the cumulative hits for those events where group equals to pipeline, and this group field value we have assigned to our metric name value using this ingest underscore eval. Okay, and you have to remember that this name has to be same, metric underscore name. Okay, then only you can use it over here, the value of this particular field. Okay, so this is what we are doing it over here. So basically we are selectively applying this settings on events. Okay, and then the same blacklist and the whitelist dimension over here. Okay, so our configuration is ready for the second file. If you see it over here, so here we will be using the new source type called matrix underscore log underscore new, okay, to ingest the data underscore new file. Okay, so we will restart Splunk once and then try to see how it's working over there. Okay, our Splunk has been restarted. We'll just log in over there. We'll go to settings, add data, and we will upload our data underscore new file, right? So data underscore new, we'll be clicking on next. So this time we'll be selecting metrics underscore log underscore new. Okay, so this particular source type we have created over there. Okay, we'll be clicking on next. We'll be selecting the metric index, review, submit, and start searching. And if you see it over here, for all those events over here, all those 6 events over here, because 3 events belongs to this group equals to queue and rest of the group equals to pipeline, right? So that's why in Splunk, for each and every kind of matrices, it has created 3 values over here, like total count is 3 over here. Okay, so and if you see, like, this is how it created the metric names: pipeline.cpu seconds, pipeline.cumulative hits. So if I just go over here, so this is our this was our metric name, right? So that's why it was created something like pipeline.cpu seconds, executes, cumulative hits, and q.metric size kb, current size kb, something like this one, right? So if I just go over here, q.current size kb, q.largest size, something like this one. Okay, so this is how you can basically convert a log data or event data into metric data in Splunk. Okay, so hopefully this video was helpful. In the next video we'll talk about the same stuff, maybe in the search time, okay, using the mcollect command. Okay, see you in next video.